Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. In today's video, we'll be checking out the Amazfit GTS1 versus the Amazfit GTS2. So both devices are actually very similar, but the GTS2 has actually brought upon many new features and new updates to the watch itself. So in this video, we'll be talking a little bit about the features that they both share and also the new features that are introduced on the GTS2. But more importantly, at the end of this video, you should probably have a clearer idea on whether you should buy the GTS1 or maybe the GTS2. Alright, so the reason why I'm saying that is because in terms of pricing, the GTS1 can now be obtained at a very affordable price. So of course, depending on which country you're from, the pricing will definitely be different. But here in Malaysia, we can get the GTS1 for just 399 ringgit, and that is approximately 95 US dollars from Dasher. So if you want to get the links down below. So very affordable, less than 100 US dollars for the Amazfit GTS1. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the Amazfit GTS2 here is only available in China at the moment, and this is about 1,000 yuan. So if you translate that to ringgit, it's about 620 ringgit, or if you're just talking about dollars, it's about 135 US dollars. So definitely this is more expensive than the GTS1, but yeah, it makes the GTS1 actually a good purchase to maybe make now in 2020. Alright, so let's talk about the similarities in terms of the features and what you can expect from the upgrades on the GTS2. So first up, let's talk about that display. So both displays here are an AMOLED panel, but they're both very clear. They're both of the same size, 1.65 inches. But what the GTS2 actually brings on right now is a higher refresh rate. So notice that when I scroll through the device itself, you notice that it's a bit choppy on the GTS1, but this has been fixed in the GTS2. Let me just show it to you very quickly. If you go into the main menu, notice how it just glides. So a side-by-side comparison, and you can see that the refresh rate on the GTS2 is definitely higher. Apart from that, the GTS2 also introduces a whole lot more of watch faces. So we have about 50 watch faces now on the GTS2. This is not to say that the GTS1 does not have a lot of watch faces. This has a lot of watch faces too, but it's just that the GTS2 brings on some really nice new designs that you can get only on the GTS2. So I really like that. Another difference here is in the always-on display. So notice that when we turn off the display right here, the GTS1 only came with two kinds of different designs for its always-on display. For example, we do have a digital version or an analog clock. The analog clock is really difficult to see, so I've used the digital one, and there's only two options. But for the GTS2, what it does now is that it supports the design that follows the watch face itself. So for example, notice this design is actually similar to the watch face. And if I just change the watch face right here, for example, let me just go with this one right now. And if I turn it off, the watch face for the always on display will change. So very cool, very nice always on display design right here on the GTS2. Alright, so moving down the list, let's talk a bit about that notifications. So in terms of notifications, once more, both watches are able to get you your call and messages notifications. They all will be pushed to the watch, but what the GTS2 brings on right now is something new. So it does come with a built-in mic and speaker. So you can use the mic here to actually answer your phone calls directly on the watch itself. So those of you who wants to do that, you have the option to do that now on the Amazfit GTS2. Apart from that, like I mentioned, it comes with speakers built in right now. So what this means is you can set yourself these notification sounds. So for example, when you have a notification coming in, you can actually set the GTS2 to beep so that it actually comes out with a sound so that you know that there is a new notification. On the GTS1, it only vibrates, but on this, you have vibration and sound. Apart from that, another interesting feature right here is that emojis are now supported on the GTS2. So previously, it always shows up as just squares, but on the GTS2, you can now see a couple of emojis, not everyone, just a few, but it definitely is better than previously because you can actually see some smiles now on the watch itself. Alright, so that's in terms of notifications. Let's move down to the next point, and that is about the tracking capabilities. So previously on the GTS1, it was able to track your heart rate, your sleep, and this is very standard stuff. But on the GTS2, it introduces two new features, and the first one for that is actually the stress tracking. So for example, I can show you right here. It shows you your stress levels throughout the entire day, and whether or not it is accurate is a different story because I did find this to be only about 80% accurate. For example, it shows me as being stressed when I'm eating food, so I'm not too sure about that. but it is here for you to reference if you need that. Apart from that, it also introduces the SpO2 tracking that tracks your blood oxygen levels. So once again, whether or not this is accurate, I can't really vouch for it, but the feature is here and it's able to track your blood oxygen levels whenever you want to. So that's definitely something new on the GTS2. Alright, apart from that, moving on, let's talk about the number of activities they track. And right here, it is actually the same. Both devices actually track up to 12 different activities, and this includes your runs, your swims and all that. Very basic stuff. Let me just get that menu launched up right here, and it should be this one. Yep, so we do have your outdoor runs, your indoor runs, cycling, and just those basic activities. You have 12 activities here, and both watches still come with GPS built in. So very convenient if you don't want to carry your smartphone out with you. You can still track your location and your pace with the Amazfit GTS1 and 2. Alright, moving on, another cool feature we have here is the music control. So on the Amazfit GTS1, we do have music controls here, and you can see you can actually press play or just hit next, and you can even control your volume of your music directly from your watch itself. But that was only music controls. So what the GTS2 brought on now is actually a built-in 4 GB of memory. So you can put in your songs and play the songs directly from the speaker itself, or you can also connect your earphones to your watch to play that music. So very convenient. Once again, if you want to bring your watch out without bringing your smartphone, you can now put songs into the watch itself and just play the music while making your runs. So that's definitely very cool for the GTS2. Alright, last but not least, let's talk a bit about that battery. So we do have a slightly larger battery in the Amazfit GTS2, just about 20 mAh more. But in terms of actual battery life, I would say that the Amazfit GTS2 is able to last about 2 days on one single charge. So I've tried to turn off every feature that I can that I don't use, for example, the always on display, and I've minimized the timing for the race to wake actually works. So I've minimized all those kind of features on the watch, but maximum I can get from the Amazfit GTS2 is 2 days, whereas on the Amazfit GTS1, I was able to get about 4 to 5 days. So bear in mind, previously we were about to get 10 days with the Amazfit GTS1, but probably because of the latest app, the Zap app. Previously it was called the Amazfit app, but I'm not sure what's wrong with the new app, but it's just draining a lot of power. So right now you can just expect 4 to 5 days on the GTS1 and about 2 days on the GTS2. So these are basically it, the similarities and the new upgrades to the GTS2. Alright guys, so at the end of the day, which device should you buy, or should you even buy any of these smartwatches today? Alright, so in terms of the GTS1, like I said, in Malaysia, this is just 399 ringgit, which is approximately 95 US dollars. And if that's the price that you're able to get this is still a very good smartwatch to buy in 2020. You get a lot of features on the watch itself, the heart rate tracking, your activity tracking, and the GPS all in this watch itself. However, if you talk about whether you should buy the Amazfit GTS2, I think there's still a couple of issues that needs to be ironed out. For example, I was still getting some issues with the GPS, and once in a while, the heart rate tracking is also not very reliable. Maybe it's because I was very sweaty and I have a lot of hair on my wrist, but I shouldn't be able to be facing that kind of issues here. So in terms of the GTS2, I think that we still need to wait for more updates before I can actually recommend this to anyone, especially since it's not very cheap as well. So if you ask me, if you want to buy the GTS2, you should still wait for the update. And if you're actually looking for a quick smartwatch under 100 US dollars, you can actually consider the Amazfit GTS1. Alright guys, I think that's it for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. As always, I'll try to answer the questions as much as I can, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!